Welcome to your Tee Time Strategies. I'm Terry Miskolci, Director of Instruction for Brown Golf here in Bluffton, South Carolina. We're on a par 5 here at the Crescent Point Golf Club, hole number 6. And I'm faced with a shot. I just hit my tee shot, and I'm faced with a decision to make. To go for it or to lay up. And here are some areas that I have to consider when I'm going to make my decision. One area is what the lie is like. My lie here is just slightly downhill. My situation is I need 225 yards to carry the water. And I have a wind that kind of gusts up at me. And so I have been trying to make a decision. Do I hit a 5-wood off the downhill lie? Do I hit a 3-metal off the downhill lie? Or do I decide to lay up, and what golf club then would I use? Now the 150 yard marker is about 50 some odd yards in front of me, so that's why I know I got 220 some yards to the green. And I've decided that because of the wind situation, and if it gusts up, I got a good chance of putting the ball in the water. So I've decided that I'm going to use, rather than the 3-metal or the 5-metal, I'm going to use the 7-iron. And that should be enough golf club. I have approximately 50, 100, 150, 160 yards to get to the water. I'm right into the wind. My 7-iron is my 165, 170 yard club. So I know I can't get to the water with the wind coming at me. So that's the golf club I'm going to use. And so that's the decision I've made, taking everything else into consideration. The wind, the lie, and the water. So let's take the 7-iron and let's hit a good shot. Again, every shot we go about it in the same way. We go through our routine, pick our target line, and then I get myself set. But remember, I have a downhill lie. So when I have the downhill lie, I allow my body to go with the slope. So there's a little more weight on my front leg than there is on my back leg. Now it's important that when I'm on this lie, I have to stay in this position to execute a good golf shot. So I'm aiming at the just left of the bunker out there by the green. I'm going to stay on my left-hand side and make my swing. And the ball flight will travel a little lower. I stay with the slope so that the ball goes low into the wind, and I'm on my target line. Now we go to the next shot, which is a trying shot, because now it's the pitch shot over the water to a flag that's in sort of towards the back of the green. So it might be easier than we think. Let's go. Okay, we've hit our layup shot, and I've laid it up reasonably close to the water, but enough room. It gives me some leeway to have between the ball and the water itself. I'm approximately to the front of the green, probably around 70-75 yards. To the back of the green, where the flag is located, I'm going to be close to 100 yards to the back of the green. All right, so knowing that, I got two choices here. I can either take my sand wedge and make a full swing into the wind, or I can take my gap wedge and go into my pitching game. Remember, in our pitching game, I went past the leg, pocket high, waist high to shoulder high, and I get different distances with all my wedges. So do I take a full swing with the sand wedge, which means that if the ball goes up in the air, the wind can grab that golf ball and I may not get the exact distance I wanted? Or do I go with the gap wedge, which means I'll take a shorter swing, the ball stays lower, which means that the wind doesn't affect it quite as much, and I have more control of my distances. So I've decided that the gap wedge is going to be the golf club I wanted to use. And you notice I put an extra ball down, and I'm going to show both shots. I'm going to take a swing with the sand wedge to show you the full swing, and then I'm going to show you the gap wedge swing. So we'll lie one club down. Again, I go through my routine, pick my target area. I have the sand wedge in my hand, and now I'm going to take the full swing with the sand wedge. The wind will catch it a bit, and what I find is that the ball now is kind of front center of the green. So now I'll take the gap wedge, which means I don't need as long a swing, and I have a little more control of the golf shot. So you'll find that the ball's trajectory will be lower because the swing isn't quite as long. And in this case, I'm going to take the gap wedge. Again, it's about 100 yards into the wind, and I'm going to take the gap wedge approximately waist high. So I'll go waist high, waist high. The trajectory is lower. When the ball hits, it starts to run towards the flag. So I have to make a decision. Which one is the easier golf shot? Which one do I have more control of to give me the best opportunity for no more than a 2-putt? That's our tee time strategy for today. Next week we'll talk about the tee shot on the number 7th hole at the Crescent Point Golf Club, and I'll tell you the strategy you would like to use there. See you next week.